What's going on out there, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about this floor, how we're going to put this floor in the truck. I'm actually going to show you how we're going to do some of it. So before we get started, sorry about that, I got a little food in my teeth. Anyways, so before we get started, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, share. You know, most of you guys watching these videos, you ain't subscribed. That doesn't help me out any. You know, if you guys want me to put out a little bit better content or something with more quality along the lines, you know, later on in life anyways, maybe like, comment, subscribe, and share. You know, I'd like to do some good things on this channel, and if it doesn't go anywhere, I can't do anything with it. So if you guys want to continue to keep watching me, please do that. Without further ado, we're going to go here and get into this video. So I'm going to get you flipped around here and show you what we're doing. Alright, so first of all, you guys know I already got the floor out of the truck, so that's going to be your... Shut this door, it's actually raining a little bit. So that's going to be your first step, to take the floor out of the truck. Everything out, take your seats out, carpet, the pad, everything that's under it, take all that stuff out, get your floor clean. Clean it as much as you can, use lacquer thinner, get all the grime off of the floor, even up under this whole section up under here. I even cleaned the firewall back in there because I'm putting sound deadener. So that's going to be the next thing you guys are going to want to do. Go out and get you some sound deadener. I bought this sound deadener right here. It's 80mm Noiko sound deadener off of eBay. It was reasonably priced. It did go up a little bit since this coronavirus crap's been going on. But I bought some different stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and finish the floor up with it. Now, granted, it's not the best stuff. I'm a little disappointed in it, but it's going to be what it is. My fuse box will go back into place when it's all said and done. And what we got going on here is a template. I went out, bought me a roll of cardboard from Home Depot. It does fit. I just started pulling it out, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a video really quick, so not a big deal. Lay you some cardboard out, make a template, make it fit. Trim all the way around the edges. Like I said, I need mine to tuck up in here. That way when I put my angle iron down here at the bottom, right in this area, I have something to attach my wall to. On top of that, you know, you can get all your holes already cut out or marked out for your seat, your airline, and then these back here for your seat belt. These lines right here, or these holes right here, I'm sorry, I'm not so worried about actually marking out. I started right here, but I got my floor and the foam that I'm putting under the floor trimmed around this. It's another story. I did change what I'm doing with the floor. We are not going to go with this 3/4 inch that's back here on this floor. That's coming back out. It's heavy, and I like to lighten it up as much as I possibly can. So I'm laying 1/2 inch foam. Hold on. I got some 1/2 inch styrofoam. It's like aluminum paper stuff on one side and some other paper stuff on the other side. I don't know exactly what it is. It was some of the cheaper stuff they had at Home Depot, but yeah, it was what's going to do. It's 1/2 inch, and the floor I'm actually going to use is a laminate is actually wood. It's laminated on both sides. What I'm using is vinyl plank. It's a composite PVC. I'll show you what it looks like here after a while. So if you would, hang out. And I'm going to get this template out of the truck. I've already got the styrofoam cut. I've already got the floor already trimmed. The purpose of this template is so you can snap your entire floor together on a flat surface, like in your garage or in your driveway somewhere, but it has to be fairly flat. And then you lay this template on it, trace around it, and you ain't got to sit here and go back and forth trimming each and every little bitty piece trying to make it fit. It's a pain in the butt. And this simplifies the entire project where you just don't have to do all that. Now, granted, your foam pad comes in 4x8 sheets, so you're going to have to lay this on top of that also and trim that out. When you do that, after you get it all cut, you're going to want to cut that foam into 4 sections, because getting it in here, getting it in here and then get it tucked up under the dash at the same time is nearly impossible. So you're going to have to cut it in 4 sections and do it in quarters. And once you get that in, of course, all that after you sound deaden the floor, once you get all that in, you'll have a nice flat surface to work off of. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out here and show you what we're gonna do with this template. Sorry, I cut the template out for all my cuts, and stupid me, I forgot to do all my holes, so I knew where to drill my holes in the floor and the styrofoam. So I'm gonna go get the styrofoam floor laid back out, put this template back on top of it, get those holes marked out, and then I'm gonna put my floor together in the garage and do the same. So if you would, hang with me here, and we'll get to it, and you'll see how it's coming along. All right, guys, I'm back. As you can see, sweating my butt off. It's hot out here. I've been working through the night, or into the night. I know I didn't go over there and show you the template that I had cut out, which it's kind of crude anyways. But anyways, it's here. I'll get you flipped around. It's just the mark out of the floor. So this is exactly what my floor is going to look like, and I just placed this here just for aesthetics so you guys can see it. But you know, matter of fact, I don't even think it fits right. I got a little bit of a gap up here, and it still needs to go forward another ½ inch. That plate over there, my father and I actually my father made it. I helped him a little bit, but you know, I'm gonna give him all the credit. We actually made it out of the bumper that was originally on the truck. The aluminum one that was on it, it was corroded so bad right back in here that when you press the brakes, it actually lifted that plate up. So we had to remake that, and we're also remaking the bracket for the fuel pedal, because when we took it apart, it broke on us, and they want 160 bucks for it, which I can make it, which I'm letting my dad do it, but not a big deal. But since I got that there just sitting there, I'll move it out of the way, and you can see here, Woodhead took his floor out of the back, put my second layer of sound deadener in there. For some reason I thought I had 2 back there, but I didn't. So I got my second layer back here already, and of course all that bundle of wires is all for the car audio that's going in here. So the second layer's in, this layer's down. Granted, it's not bolted, so when you put the seats in, of course I got to put my template back in here so I can drill the holes for the seats. That way everything's already put together. I'll drill the holes for the seats, and everything will be nice and firm to the floor. Also, same here. When I pull that back up, well, it's around that boot, so it's going to be hard to do it with one hand, but got to get that back up around that boot and run all the bolts in through there. The holes that were originally in the floor, they were kind of corroded. Here, I'll pop the whole thing up. Give me 1 second, let me get this up. Alright, I got it up. So the original holes that were in the floor, which there's 2 of them right here, right, one there and one there. Then these are the other holes that was originally here. I put riv nuts in them, 5/16 riv nuts all the way around, because that's about all I had that would fit somewhat accurately. Still need to trim this around these on this side anyways. Not too bad, but this is the styrofoam right in here that I put in. The reason I did that, one, is because the floor is not 100% level. You know, you got rivets and bolts and stuff like that coming up through the floor, and or at least the head of them are on the floor. And well, as you can see on that screw right over there, you know, that's not flush. So if you was to lay this floor directly on, and I know I don't have that piece in over there, I got to trim it just a little bit more. But if you were to lay this floor directly on the bolts, and eventually it may snap if you step on an area where it's coming through. You know, it's not going to turn out very well for you. So best thing to do is, one, put your sound deadener down and put at least 2 layers, 3 in some locations that the floor dips down in, like right along this area right here. You got 3 lines that run up, 3 or 4, and then that whole section up above the pedals over here and right up here, it dips down. So I got 3 layers up there just to try to even the surface out. And back here, you've got 2 rivets here and 2 more rivets here, and they come in from the bottom, so they're protruding at least about a ½ inch through the floor. All the rest of them are the correct way, with the rivets going down through the floor. So that's what the styrofoam is for. Once you put it down, it gives you a nice smooth level surface to work on, and you won't have anything that'll impede what you're trying to do. when it comes to putting this floor down. And it'll go in nice and smooth. You'll have a nice clean finish all the way across. Like I said, this entire piece, I made a cutout template, just cardboard, laid it flat across the floor with nothing in here, of course, and trimmed everything around all the edges, all the way around everything, all these little pedals up here, or all these little boxes up there. You can't see because the fuse box is cockeyed right now, but that's gonna, I think, gonna be one of the only issues that I run into is you see that little block that's over there. It goes in the corner of the fuse panel right there that's missing, and it's at a bit of an angle, so I got to figure that out. I may have to trim back around the floor itself to let the fuse panel drop below that, where it won't cause much of an issue. Also put I'll put one layer of sound deadener right there, and I just laid one full sheet. I cut it in half, put half of it on, and then just overlapped it right there in the center. Other than that, that's about all it really takes for putting the floor in. Now, I'm gonna get back with you guys tomorrow, so I'm not gonna post this video up tonight, but like I said, I already put the second layer down here, and tomorrow we're gonna get all the styrofoam cut and put it on this floor. Granted, I don't really need to put the styrofoam on this floor because I don't have nearly as many bolts or rivets or anything protruding through this floor, but I'm gonna do it, one, so it matches this floor, and two, well, it's gonna give us a little more insulation in this truck, which you can't have too much. So it's light. This floor is light itself. This stuff here, I'll give you a closer look as to what we got here. So this is a PVC composite. It's all plastic. I don't know if the phone will focus on that, but it's all plastic, and that's the brand Procore. It's got this little pad on the back also, so that's going to work in conjunction with the styrofoam that you already got on the floor over there, or throughout the whole floor. It's going to quieten the things down in here. On top of the sound deadener, you ain't going to hear very much coming through the floor at all. So all the road noise that you normally get in a big truck, you're not going to have any of that, or at least I don't believe you will. We're going to find out. I think for the most part, that's really all I've done today. Is I spent a big chunk of my day at the hardware store getting all this foam and some other hardware, some things for the air that's going to come through the floor for the seats. I'm putting shut-off valves on those. That way, if anything happens, you spring a leak on your seat some way, somehow. Never know. Anything's possible. It'll have ball valves on it to where I can shut them off. And as I progress through working on this truck, I'm going to actually do the same thing to each and every thing that an airline connects to. So on my airbags, on my brake chambers, all that, they're going to have shut-off valves on every one of them. So if any of you ever broke a brake chamber, you know, running down the highway, and it'll lock up a tire or a set of tires really quick. And you know, you got to rig some stuff up. You got to get up under the truck and pinch the line off, and just, it's not the right way to do things. And it's greasy, it's funky getting up under there. You know, I'm trying to simplify things, so if I ever run into that situation, all I got to do, instead of crawling under the truck with zip ties or whatever you got to try to get that line pinched off, shut off the valve. Done with it. Now, like I said, my father and I made this piece out of the bumper. This piece right here. It's pretty heavy. It's beefy. So I don't think that'll ever have to worry about rusting or corrosion or anything like that, because I actually used Flex Seal and Flex Sealed the entire thing, so it's got a good layer of rubber all the way around it, and I think that'll work out. I didn't sound deaden the firewall just yet, so I still got to do that. And the reason I haven't is because getting in behind this piece right here is a pain in the butt. I'm gonna have to figure out a good way to do that, because it runs from this area here all the way around that, and then all the way across behind this, which is the air cleaner that comes through that side, or it's behind the air cleaner. It's for the AC compressor, or dang it, fan motors in here, if I ain't mistaken. I haven't took this apart, but yeah, so the air comes in, the clean air comes in through this box, goes up in through this. I'm assuming this is the fan motor. Heck, there may be a filter behind that. I don't know. So yeah, that's why I haven't changed that out just yet. Other than that, I don't know really what else I'm gonna put in this video. Here's one other thing. You see that roller right over there? That's what I use to roll out this floor, or this sound deadener. It's imperative that you use that. You don't want any air bubbles in this, and you want to make sure you have good adhesion to the floor. So also this hole over here, that's for my air box back here. It's got a heater core stuff in it. If I ain't mistaken, this truck wasn't set up for AC in the bunk. Now the controls I have are set up for AC, but everything that I have in that box that goes right there is only set up for heat. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get that put back in there. And yeah, I'll get that whole mess of wires cleaned up. I do have all the wires ran for the speakers that are gonna go in here. They're all over here. That one's a mile long for some reason, I don't know. That's what that one right there is for. Also got this one right here. And then, of course, this is the whole bunch of wires that are running back to the back. And yeah, I also don't know if I ever showed you guys these corners right here. Did the same thing in this corner over here. Oh, there you go. They were at a 45-degree angle, and I wanted a 90-degree angle right there because planning on putting plywood on this wall back here because my subwoofers, they're going to go right here where this box is, that little box. It's got the port facing back, so it's going to make that wall flex a little bit, and eventually it may start rattling, or that's why I want to put plywood back here, because it's going to strengthen that wall and you won't have that flex. But at the moment I can't, because those lights there and there, they're protruding past the wall, and I got to take them out and find another set that goes in there in the back of the sleeper. Not a big deal. It's not hard to do. That's why those two wires are there and there, just sitting there, because I got to get that all put back in. Not a big deal. That's something easy to fix. Not even too concerned really about what's going on back here. You know, my concern is getting everything up here done, because this is what you need to drive the truck. All this. And though it doesn't have to look this good, and don't mind my stretched out V-neck shirt, it's what happens when you work and sweat and you're wiping your face off all day. So yeah, we're gonna get all this stuff straightened out, get this truck on the road as soon as possible. Ordering my injectors Wednesday. Matter of fact, I called the guy, spoke with him Friday, and fortunately I caught him a little too late in the day, so he wasn't able to put the order in. I'm gonna go get me a box and get ready to ship my cores out. Not the ones that are in the motor. I actually have another set of injectors that I originally took out of this motor when we built it the first time. I kept the injectors. I didn't turn those in for cores for this particular reason, because I didn't know the ones that I put in were gonna work or not. So this is a Big Cam 4 350, which meaning it has 350 horsepower from the factory. Granted, we did a little bit of modifying to it. We retarded the timing to gain a little bit of horsepower. We're going to turn the fuel up in it a little bit. I'm doing a dual fuel line setup. So there's one feeding the back side of the head, one feeding the front side of the head. And I guess it comes together in the middle. It's supposed to smooth out idling in these trucks. These particular engines anyways. You get a lot more power, a lot more throttle response out of it. So that's the reason we're doing that. I'm not necessarily doing that to gain anything. I don't think I'm going to gain much power, if all, maybe 20, 30 horsepower, if it even does that. So that's not my concern with that. I'm just trying to smooth this truck out and make it to where it's not going to have to work so hard to keep going down the highway. Like I said, the injectors that are in it, I put 400 injectors for a 400 horsepower engine. I'm thinking in my mindset is the way to get more horsepower out of this engine is more fuel. Most people turn up the fuel pump, which, well, that puts more pressure at the fuel rail. Well, I call it a fuel rail. It's not a fuel rail. It puts more fuel pressure at the injector. And these particular injectors in this engine run off the cam. You know, it's almost, I'm not going to say it's like a Chevy 350, but in a sense it kind of is if you really break it down. So that, yeah, the injectors run straight off the cam. And the more fuel pressure you have to it, the more of a load that it is pushing back at the cam, and eventually it'll wear those lobes of that cam down. So what you want to do is open up your injectors a little bit. Now, the injector that's in it is actually somewhat fine, but they're top stop injectors. They're supposed to stop at a certain degree or a certain angle, or I'm not 100% sure. Not a diesel mechanic, not even going to claim to be, but this is my understanding of it. So the injectors, one, they're not stopping where they're supposed to because we have the torque spec set for the particular engine that we built, which is it's an NTC 855 or a Cummins Big Cam Ford 350, but the CPL is 840. So that CPL has to have everything, or basically the cam itself is that CPL. So everything in the engine, all the internals, everything is built off of that CPL. The timing, everything. And like I said, we've retarded that a little bit because that's how you gain horsepower out of the Cummins. On top of it, feed it fuel. So like I was saying with the injectors, the more of a load of fuel that you have on the cam, the harder it is on the cam. It eventually ends up wearing your cam out. So what we're going to do is put the right injectors that are spraying at the right angle. That's why I got so much smoke coming out of my stacks, because they're spraying at an 18-degree angle, and the ones that are supposed to be in it are supposed to spray at a 14-degree angle. So technically what's happening is, one, the injector's not stopping where it's supposed to, and two, it's spraying at the incorrect angle, which is washing down my cylinders, or washing down the walls in the cylinders, instead of the fuel mixing with the air that's coming in like it's supposed to. So it's causing the engine to struggle, and if I leave this thing sit here and idle, which is not good for a Cummins Big Cam engine, I'll end up getting fuel start to drip out of my turbo. Not a good thing. I originally thought it was oil, thought we had a major problem, that I was going to have to change my turbo. Not the case. So at least I found that out. It's a whole lot cheaper to change these injectors, and it's going to be the right way. So we're going to put I think the original injectors call for 175 or 180 cc, and we're going to put 200 cc injectors in it, but it's going to be the injector itself that's supposed to be in the engine, but the only thing we're going to change is the cup at the bottom, where it just has a little bit more relief. So when I turn the fuel up or put a bigger button in it, and I guess a stinger, I don't know what it's called. I'm not a Cummins guru, and like I said, not a diesel mechanic in any way. So it won't have such of a load on the cam, won't wear my cam out, and I'll still be able to get good power with a decent fuel mileage without having to turn crazy amounts of fuel pressure up from the pump. I'm not running a number 5 button or anything. I'm putting a 25 button in it. I'm going to shim it at 2200 RPMs, put a stinger, and this thing should run like a dream. Should have 400, 450 horsepower, somewhere in there with the way we got it set up. And I shouldn't have very many problems. It's not too hot where it's going to burn holes in my pistons. On top of that, the pistons I actually put in this engine have a ceramic coating on the top, and they're Teflon on the sides, plus they're 4 rings on each cylinder, or on each piston, versus the 3 that come from the factory. The Teflon, it makes it a lot slicker. Teflon, if you didn't know, is the slickest material known to man. So Teflon in those cylinders is going to be a lot easier for that piston to slide up and down, one. And the ceramic coating on top keeps the piston from overheating to where the dome, or the top of the piston, I'm not sure if they're domed or not, I don't think they are, but the top of the piston, if you put too much fuel in there and it ends up getting too hot, and it's just boom, 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 firing back to back, eventually it'll burn a hole through your piston and you're going to have some major problems. So ceramic coated pistons is what you want in these particular engines. I got all my information from Bruce at Pittsburgh Power. He's got a lot of forums on the internet about this. I called him, picked his brain about it. We spent many hours on the phone, and he actually walked my mechanic through how to do this the right way. Like I said, the mechanic who built this engine used to work for Cummins building engines, but he'd only built them back to factory specs. He's never built a hot rod engine. Not trying to be much of a hot rod with this truck, but I do want a little more horsepower. 350 horsepower is not much. Then I understand big trucks, it's all about torque. So I know I'm just rambling on, guys. I apologize. If you would do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, Tell me what you think I could do to make these videos better. And like I said in the beginning of this video, most of you guys watching aren't subscribed. So if you would, please, it helps the channel, it helps me out, helps everything I'm trying to do. I don't have commercials or anything like that on these videos. I'm not getting paid from these videos, but it just lets me know that there's more people that are really interested in what I'm trying to see, and lets me know that I'm not wasting my time. A couple 200 people watching videos for 4 or 5 minutes, it's not that much. It takes a long time to sit here and make this video. It takes time out of my day, what I'm trying to do, and at times I get discouraged. So if you guys would, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys on the next one. God bless you. All right, hold up, guys. Don't go anywhere. One last little thing here. Get you flipped around and show you what the floor looks like inside. We done put it down. It was the same process as it was yesterday. Granted, I still have the hole I need to cut over there for the box, the air box, whatever. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Floor in the back. I got this little gap right here to run my wire along. I'm gonna put a threshold there so it looks nice and clean. Fits a little better than that plywood did anyways. So tight all up against the edges. Not too tight to where it's not gonna have any flexibility, but yeah, looks good.